I'm back. Rhodes for the Matrixx and Rhodes show. Okay, we're going to talk about the historically massive television show that is and was known as Friends. Friends has got an entire new generation of audience because of streaming. Of course, so much so they had a reunion show last year on HBO Max. I got to admit, I liked Friends, okay? Not so much while it was on, but when it went to syndication over on TBS in like the late 90s, I guess it was. Yeah, I started watching Friends all the time, and yeah, it was a damn good show. It was funny as hell. In fact, I was recently up at a hospital. I was in the waiting room. Friends was on, and I actually found myself laughing out loud at Friends even today in 2022. And of course, it launched the careers of what ended up being a lot of Hollywood's who's who, right? Particularly Jennifer Aniston. Well, we've seen a lot of virtue signaling. We've seen a lot of apologizing, a lot of white guilt, right? Over the last couple of years, ever since the incident involving Saint George Floyd, as Jason Whitlock would call him. And now the Friends co-creator is carrying so much white guilt right now. She has decided to give a donation of $4 million. Why, you may ask? Because she wants to apologize for the lack of diversity in the show Friends. Wow. Okay. Good Lord. Here we go. Post-millennial. Friends co-creator gives $4 million apology over the show's lack of diversity. By the way, David Schwimmer, of course, who played Ross, he has kind of fired back at this. Friends co-creator Marta Kaufman is holding herself accountable for the iconic sitcom's, quote, lack of diversity, and has decided to pledge $4 million to correct her part in perpetrating systemic racism, which doesn't even exist. Almost 2 decades after the sitcom ran for a successful 10 seasons, Kaufman has decided to right her wrongs, according to the New York Post. Good God, it's been 2 decades. I've learned a lot in the last 20 years, Kaufman said in a Zoom interview. Admitting and accepting guilt is not easy. It's painful looking at yourself in the mirror. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm embarrassed that I didn't know better 25 years ago, the co-creator said. Friends, which featured a group of 6 straight white best friends living in New York City's Greenwich Village. The iconic cast included Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, David Schwimmer, Matt LeBlanc, and Matthew Perry. It was the death of George Floyd, here we go, in 2020 that prompted Kaufman to take accountability of her part in perpetrating systemic racism in America. Quote, I needed to course correct. That's just so damn stupid. I needed to course correct, Kaufman explained, according to the New York Post. Kaufman has pledged $4 million to a fund, an endowed chair at Brandeis University's African and African American Studies Department in an attempt to redeem herself. According to the university, the Marta F. Kaufman 78 Professorship in African and African American Studies, quote, will support a distinguished scholar with a concentration in the studies of peoples and cultures of Africa and African diaspora, and assist the department to recruit more expert scholars and teachers, map long-term academic and research priorities, and provide new opportunities for students to engage in interdisciplinary scholarship. Quote, it took me a long time to understand how to internalize systemic racism. This woman is an idiot, Kaufman told Brandeis. I've been working really hard to become an ally, an anti-racist, and it seemed to me to be a way that I could participate in the conversation from a white woman's perspective. Is there anything worse than a white liberal social justice warrior? God, is there anything more cringy? They love to tell black people what to do, by the way. Racist sons of bitches. Kaufman told LA Times about the praise she has received Since announcing the $4 million pledge, you see right there, she brought it up. She brought it up now. Quote, in this case, I'm finally literally putting my money where my mouth is, Kaufman said. I feel I was able to make some difference in the conversation. This egotistical maniac is actually bragging on herself for showing that she's not racist. God, these Hollywoods. I have to say, after agreeing to this, and when I stopped sweating, it didn't unburden me, but it lifted me up. But until my next production, I can do it right. It isn't over. I want to make sure from now on in every production that I am conscious of hiring people of color and actively pursuing young writers of color. I want to know, and I will act differently from now on, and then I will feel unburdened. There wasn't a damn thing racist about Friends, by the way. Nothing racist about Friends. As the Friends reunion aired last year to celebrate the success of the show, activists called on its creators to address the show's lack of diversity, but Kaufman said that wasn't the place or the time. Quote, I don't know how the two were related, and I don't know how we could have addressed it in the context of that reunion. Going into all things we did wrong, there were others, she told the LA Times. However, not all Friends creators are apologizing for their casting decisions. How could you get the casting of that show any better than it was? I mean, the chemistry. Have you ever seen 6 actors have that good a chemistry for 10 years? And the guest stars they would have coming in? I mean, come on. Tom Selleck was freaking great on that show. Kaufman's co-creator, Kevin Bright, said the cast was selected over the actors and actresses' undeniable, quote, chemistry. There we go. I would have been insane not to hire those 6 actors. What can I say? I wish Lisa was black, question mark. Bright told the Hollywood Reporter. Good for him to just blatantly come out and say it. Now, let's go over here because I want to read to you what Schwimmer said in 2020 about that criticism. One of the show's stars, this is The Blaze, David Schwimmer, responded to the criticism about diversity in 2020, quote, I don't care. Schwimmer told to The Guardian at the time, the truth is also that the show was groundbreaking in its time for the way in which it handled casual sex, protected sex, gay marriage, and relationships. That is an absolute valid point. It was in the forefront of everything he just laid out, and now the show's taking heat for lack of diversity. Okay. You have to look at it from the point of view of what the show was trying to do at the time. He also said he pushed for his character Ross to date a non-white character on the show, and he did. I believe, and I don't know for sure, but I think that was Aisha Tyler. But I may be wrong. I don't know. I'm trying to go off of memory here of what I can remember about Friends. But here we go. We got another Hollywood elite, somebody that co-created Friends, that is bragging on herself. And yeah, she bragged, look at me. I gave $4 million. Look how not racist I am. Woo, Hollywood. Hey, woo, I'm over here. The white SJW that just donated a bunch of money in the name of diversity. I mean, that's virtue signaling at another level, a lunatic level that even we don't normally see. $4 million to the College for African Studies because I feel guilty that there wasn't more people of color in Friends. Crazy. I mean, look, most people I know liked Friends regardless of the color of their skin. And it's one of the shows, it's one of those shows that my liberal friends liked, and it's one of the shows that, rednecks I know like. I mean, people just like the show Friends. Why? It was funny, the actors were talented, the chemistry was unbelievable, but yet she regrets creating one of the greatest runs in television history we've ever seen of any show. Why? Because of George Floyd. I'm going to say this again. and I'll continue to say it in videos always, but the day that George Floyd thing happened, John Matrixx and myself went live on this very channel, and we wanted to talk about how this might end up affecting things like entertainment or sports and pop culture, everything. And on that day, we both said, in total agreement, everything we know will be ruined by wokeness going forward. There we go. There we go. Tell me what you think, Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.